Alright, so once again, a new UR shit means we gotta predict on what the kit's gonna be. As usual, I don't think anything's gonna change. Cross barrages is gonna be there, obviously, or some kind of buff. And probably gonna have a self buff. Now, I'm hoping it's not gonna be a restrictive self buff like Shinano and Yorktown 2. Hopefully, it's a universal or a unique one for herself. Otherwise, it's gonna be weird. Anyways, though, if we were to sort this by Iron Blood, now, if you were to compare, like, say, Yorktown 1 with Yorktown 2, their kits aren't even close. One is like a self-zombie, the other one's like a buffer with damage to her. So, it's kind of a weird guess on what BISMARCK ZWEI is going to be. Now, the original Bismarck, if I can find her here, for the most part, has a really weird barrage. Not a big fan of it. She does have some nice buffs though to carriers and battleships, so can't really go wrong with her. She gives a crit rate to battleships or just ships in general, and she gives airstrike damage to them as well. Let's see if I can find it. I think increase carriers by 20%. Here we go. This part right here. So she's actually a pretty good buffer for just overall KMS fleets in general. Crit rate for firepower ships and damage buffs for carriers. Now, what's BISMARCK ZWEI gonna be is up for grabs. Now, if they make her another buffer, you're gonna get some really cheeky setups where you run like Bismarck with BISMARCK ZWEI and either toss in UVH or FDGs, up to you, and you do a setup like that. Honestly, it could work. If I were to be like super like creative, if they were to give her another crit rate buff, let's say BISMARCK ZWEI is gonna have another crit buff, and it stacks of Bismarcks. You're gonna have FDG at nearly, I think, close to about, I think, let's say it's 20%, close to 80 to 90% crit rate. That's gonna be very high. The issue here is that you're using Bismarck, which is doing 0 damage, and we don't know how much damage BISMARCK ZWEI is gonna do. So that's kind of a pickle right there. But if we were to have both of them give crit rate, you can get FDG up some crazy crit rate. She'll actually be really good shit, but she has to be paired up with all the crit rate buffers for it to work. So either she's a buffer or not really sure, but let's say that she is. I think it's just gonna be a firepower. I don't think it's gonna be like, well, maybe, I don't think it's carriers either. I think it's supposed to be firepower. I don't think she's gonna buff crit rate either, but if it does buff crit rate though, that'd be great. Now, damage wise and kit wise, obviously I want to have her. I want her to have a better barrage. Bismarck's barrage in general is just awful. It does like paper damages, like literally nothing. So having her get a barrage that does a significant, or at least a decent amount of damage, is actually gonna be pretty nice. I don't want her to be like another light barrager, because if I were to say one thing about KMS battleships in general, most of them lack a very heavy hitting barrage. I think as of right now, in terms of backliner ships for KMS, if we were to do something like this, like Ulrich has a light barrage, FDG has a light barrage. Well, she fires multiple times, but she's a light barrage. Turpus doesn't have a barrage. Bismarck has a terrible barrage. I think Brunet has a decent barrage. Odin has a light barrage. It's not a heavy hitter. Like, there needs to be heavy hitting barrages, and most of these ships in here are just wave clear most of the time, so there's no heavy hitters here. So if they want to make BISMARCK ZWEI like a really good ship, then she has to be a heavy hitter. Now, I'm hoping that she is a heavy hitter, because there is that opening trailer from the Japanese PV of the upcoming event where you have BISMARCK ZWEI going against, I believe it was Arbiter Hermit. So if she's going against Arbiter Hermit, she must be a bossing ship, meaning she must have some damage to her. So I'm expecting her to be a heavy hitter for KMS ships. Otherwise, having her be in a fleet for Arbiter fights is kind of weird. Personally, I never use Bismarck in my Arbiter setups. I think I've tried it once or maybe once for like a video, but no, battleships in general has a terrible time against Arbiters. Using Bismarck there is just ugh. So hoping she's gonna be the setup here. Otherwise, it's gonna be really weird. But probably just gonna be a firepower buffer. Hopefully, she has a good barrage. Otherwise, like, The last couple battleships we got was, let me see here. We do search real quick. Battleships. We do Ultra. It was Musashi, Vanguard, and Ulrich for gotchas. So Musashi is a heavy hitter. Vanguard is a buffer, not a heavy hitter. And Ulrich's just like a machine gun. Like, she has really good DPS, but she's not. Her barrage isn't a heavy hitting barrage. New Jersey is a heavy hitting barrage. Musashi is a heavy hitting barrage. So there has to be that heavy hitting barrage in there, is what I'm expecting. So far, following this track record, KMS doesn't have a heavy hitting barrage battleship, like a really heavy hitting barrage battleship barrager. So I'm expecting BISMARCK ZWEI. I keep wanting to say Project ZWEI. BISMARCK ZWEI is going to be one. Otherwise, I don't know where she's going to fit. So anything's up for grab at this point. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. If you guys have any personal kits in general that you want to talk about, discuss, let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure she's going to be specifically for KMS. I don't think she's going to be like a universal one like Vanguard or anything. I think for the most part, the HMS ultra rare gotcha ships have been pretty universal. Like Implacable and Vanguard have been pretty universal. New Jersey, Musashi, or not Musashi, Yorktown 2, Shinano, they've been pretty faction restrictive. So, and Ulrich as well too. So pretty sure Project ZWEI, BISMARCK ZWEI is going to be similar in that aspect. So anyways, let me know, and I'll see you guys next video. Thank you guys for watching as always.